And this is going to air on Halloween, so kind of spooky. But this is not just any old Halloween. This is pretty spooky times you're living in. So
yeah, no doubt.
But we're going to try to send some blue vibes before the election here.
Vote blue.
So, how many blue songs can you name? I've come up with a whole list. Like,
yeah, Mr. Blue Sky, of course.
Yep. Yeah, we're thinking of doing it like a format. I don't know, like maybe some honorable mentions, and then towards the end, like our top favorites or the top ones. What is the best blue song? It's kind of hard to say, but
yeah. I've got an idea for one.
And blue albums or just the blues.
Right. Of course, there's should have put it up on the TV that I want to see. There we go. Good.
Any shows for you coming up? Or
I'm going to see Royce Sheen Murphy on Saturday.
Nice.
Cool.
You're talking Psychedelic Furs tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm thinking about seeing the Psychedelic Furs and the Jesus and Mary chain.
Right
Yeah,
on.
tomorrow.
I'm working tomorrow, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, that should be fun.
just worked this Indian Diwali ball at the
Oh, that sounds cool.
Seattle Art Museum.
Right on.
That was a good gig. Yeah. We saw Soul Asylum. That was pretty awesome. Far Side's coming up. Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Cindy Lauper.
Cindy Lauper. Yeah. Oh, Rise Against. Duff McKagan.
I discovered a great nugget about Pink Floyd that relates to you and your band.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
It relates to me because they shot the album cover over at Battersea Park with the floating pig for
That's
the
what
Animals
I'm
album.
talking. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So, any influences for the starting?
No.
Not at all. No.
No,
Okay.
wasn't related to that.
Completely
But,
coincidental.
yeah. But that is a famous shot for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy yesterday that like 45 car crash down.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hope
I'm
you
so
were-
glad I wasn't commuting during that.
Oh, that's right. It was Sunday, so yeah, you're off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working yesterday at Amazon's.
Yeah, Jess was working too, so she got stuck coming back, not in I-5, but she had to go, 99 instead of 5, so it took her like 2 hours to get home, so she was
Yikes.
not stoked.
Yeah, it's rough. And you couldn't go to Bellingham had that mudslide too. So
Oh, yeah.
it was like
Yeah, it could have been worse, huh?
biblical rain yesterday. I was pushing gear outside. It was kind of brutal.
Yeah, I guess I had like an oil truck
Yeah.
flipped over or something.
Is that what happened on South Ave?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even really
They
read
sent a
this.
sand truck to absorb the oil.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, it took hours.
Ugh,
Jeez.
what a nightmare.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby blue, Panther.
Robert DeLong.
Yeah, we saw we got Robert. I got a signed album by him, and I got a shirt too.
This song right here, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue by Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the encore at my first Grateful Dead show. Grateful Dead did a lot of Bob Dylan songs, and that was the encore at my first Dead show.
And Phil passed away, so.
Yeah, did you hear about that, Eric?
Who's that?
Phil Lesh, the bass player from the Grateful Dead, passed away.
Oh yeah, I did see something about
Yeah.
that.
do a Grateful Dead show someday.
Yeah, we'll have to do a show on
They're
that.
probably gonna still keep to ring Dead and Friend now or something.
Oh, like Foreigner. We don't. Or
one guy left. Bob Weir is gonna drive it into the.
Well, the funny thing is that Bob Weir and Mickey Hart, the other two remaining members, are in. Well, and then Bill Kreutzmann was in the Dead and Company with John Mayer and Jeff Chimeni and some other guys, but Phil, they wanted Phil to be in Dead and Company, but he didn't want to be in Dead and Company. He wanted to do his own thing. So anyway. So they got O'Teal Burbridge to play bass for Dead and Company, and he was from Allman Brothers.
All right, are you gentlemen ready to go?
I am ready.
Awesome. Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, cats and chicks, you're listening to Viva ENT, rock, pop, and soul, and sometimes blues, because it's Devin the Blue Dude.
Hey, blue dudes! What you got you blue?
Well, I'm going to do a deep dive into the ocean, and we're going to explore what the color blue in music, in songs, artists, albums, anything blue, it goes on today's show.
I hope you can swim.
Do.
I hope you can swim.
And with me, riding this runaway train, is Darren Dutrain Camp. Welcome.
Thank you. Aye. Thanks for having me back, guys.
Welcome.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
And, of course, running this train is Eric, CC Reidar, and...
Hey, it's me, Eric.
CC Reidar.
Good to be here. Happy Halloween, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's spooky out there. It's been all the rain coming down from the sky. And
I know, but, we should definitely not fear the Reaper on this Halloween.
oh, some blue oyster cult.
Speaking of blue,
We got... we saw these guys a few times now. Blue Oyster Cult.
yeah, they're always fun to go see. Yeah, they've got a lot of great hits, including the Blue and the Black.
Oh, it's another good song. Well, we got about 3,600 seconds in this hour, and I'm planning to at least say blue 100 times and send blue vibes all over the nation. So it's a very special edition. Johnny, we have this Viva ENT Facebook group, and it would be great to chime in on there with your favorite blue song, or any color really. You can. There's all sorts of themes that Johnny posts of like a word, and we come up with as many song ideas as possible. So that's what we're kind of going to do in this show. We're going to figure out what's our favorite blue song. We'll get to that, and will be a lot of honorable mentions.
Yeah.
And pretty much anything blue goes. If you think of a blue song from a blue album, like the Blue Joni Mitchell album, or
the Blue Weezer album.
Yep, we just saw Weezer too. And the sky is blue. There's blueberries, even Blue's Clues out there. But we're going to try to focus on mostly the music side. So like Blue Hawaii, I bet you that would be Johnny's favorite blue song.
Yeah.
Or maybe Blue Suede Shoes.
I was gonna say blue suede shoes around the holidays, of course. Blue Christmas.
Oh yeah, we saw Christmas gear is getting prepped everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's still Halloween. It's not Christmas yet. We
That's
got
right.
time.
That's right. We don't want to jump the gun.
When I got married by Elvis, that was one of the things we promised one another. We wouldn't step on each other's blue suede shoes.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So there's so many blue songs that come to mind. I mean, like Blue Velvet is a classic.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's been done by quite a few people.
Like Brenda Lee, Tony Bennett.
Bobby Vinton.
Bobby Vinton, probably most famous.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the Lana Del Rey version these days.
Yeah, you know.
But did she cover this actual song?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we got to hear Bobby Vinton because I think that's probably the most famous. But we'll check it out and see if we can figure out if Lana Del Rey's version eclipsed it.
Rings a bell.
Here's a little of Lana Del Rey's version. Yeah, released in 2012. I like this. I've never heard her version before. I'll have to check it
Yeah,
out.
me either. That's not bad though.
Have either of you seen her live? Oh yeah, I saw her
I have
live a
not.
few years ago at WAMU, and that was one of the few shows that my video got published in a Rolling Stone magazine article because
Oh,
she
wow.
played the Joni Mitchell song.
Very cool.
So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Was it a Joni Mitchell song from the album Blue?
possibly. Yeah, it was.
May have been.
So yeah, Blue by Joni Mitchell's a great song too.
Yeah. Oh, love Johnny.
There's so many songs just with the word blue. Just
Mhm.
Blue Joni Mitchell, Blue A Purple Circle, Blue by Beyonce, Tiesto. The list goes on and on. Zach Bryan.
And don't forget this old chestnut. Of course, this is one hit wonder. Eiffel 65 with their 1998 smash hit, Blue Daba Dee. And, this song recently was remade and became a hit all over again.
I bet it did, because this brings me back to elementary school, because we had a CD that would play, and this was on the one of the tracks during gym, and they'd play it on the little jukebox while.
This brings me back to the days when Kmart was still everywhere in the world, and they had a little something called a blue light special. That was there if you went shopping at Kmart.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, there would be a blue light special, and they would literally have a blue light flashing somewhere in the store. Yeah, and something would be heavily discounted.
Yeah.
And last time I saw a blue light special at Kmart, they blasted this song.
Oh, that's
and then
funny.
everyone came
the
around.
blue light
That is
flashing
funny.
to promote the blue light special.
And the crowds came running to what a deal.
Unfortunately, the crowds didn't come running, which is why I think
Why they're out of business.
The world now. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, did the original band redo it, or did another band redo it?
I'm trying to remember who the artist. They basically changed the words to it.
Oh.
So it's I'm having the night of my life or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I'll have to look that up real quick. Because it's the exact same tune.
Gotcha. Yeah, in the background.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the more modern on this list. Because I got songs going back from like Blue Yodel #9, like Jimmy Rogers.
Right. I do see that
some
down here.
Deep cuts there.
And then Merle Haggard covered that.
And Blue Umbrella, John Prine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, there's a bunch of shows coming up in November. Tom Paxton has that Spanish Ballroom, and Due 206 gave me some tickets. So looking for a buddy to go with. You might be I don't know. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll have to see now that I'm working again.
But you're down in Tacoma, so maybe we'll.
Yeah, very cool. I'll have to check him out. I'm not familiar with his stuff.
Oh, he's a folk legend.
Right on.
So if you're into folk.
I am one of the folk.
Yeah. One of the village people here.
That's fun.
And you got a band, Battersea, that has some blue elements to it. So.
Yeah, sure.
Sea, blue.
Good point.
But there's a Blue Water Highway as a band. I recently heard I was doing kind of some surveys around people I work with of what are some blue bands you can name, and ones that came up were the Blue Nile. Have you heard of them?
They're one of my favorite bands of all time.
And I was totally unaware until like yesterday. So we've got to play some Blue Nile songs.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with them, so.
Well, I'll say their debut album, A Walk Across the Rooftops, is one of the best albums of all time. And the follow-up, Hats, another fantastic album. So, yeah, definitely check out the Blue Nile. Here's a little bit of one of the songs from A Walk Across the Rooftops. This is Stay. Scottish band from Glasgow.
Yeah, my boss Jeff was raving about them and these albums. So
I like that. I like that sound.
Yeah, Paul Buchanan, the singer and lyricist, one of the great all-time voices, I think. Some people call him Frank Sinatra Glasgow.
Oh, there you go. I've only seen one band, as far as I know, from Scotland, like live, and that was Big Country.
Oh,
And
yeah.
of course, that one they
Great
had
band.
one-hit wonder, sort of, though, with the song "In a Big Country."
Right, yeah. Always a mistake to name your debut single after your band.
Right,
Because
right.
that tends to be your only hit for some reason. I don't know what the problem is with that, but seem to happen to get it again.
Yeah.
Living in a Box, for instance.
Yep. Like,
You haven't heard of them because their one hit was called "Living in a Box."
Right,
That was their
right.
debut single.
That's fine.
another Scotland artist, what, Garbage? Isn't she from Scotland? No.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't seen Garbage yet.
Oh, I saw it,
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, Shirley Manson.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
was in a group called Goodbye, Mr. McKenzie,
Oh,
where she got her start.
that's cool.
And then
Glasgow.
Noel Gallagher opened up for Garbage, so that was a awesome show.
Cool.
And then Oasis is now on tour. We'll see how long that lasts. But
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
they get along. Or they could have the blues and break up before the tour even gets started. We'll see.
or maybe they'll collect some of that Blue Money, like Van Morrison song.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Are you familiar with that one? Or?
I am not, so I'll have to look it up. The song, by the way, that I was thinking of, that was the remake of the Eiffel 65 song, with David Guetta and Bebe Rexha, which is "I'm Good," parentheses blue.
Oh.
And yeah, this was a big hit recently.
Oh, this is revamped. I
Yeah,
like
a
it.
couple of years ago, but it's the exact same tune.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's enough of that one.
All right. Well,
But yeah,
Some creative editing might help.
the blue is strong even in 2024.
oh, the Blue album by Weezer. We just
Yeah.
saw there. Yeah, they just played the whole album.
Yeah,
The Blue-
they did the whole thing, the Voyage to the Blue Planet. That was
And
very
now,
cool.
and they had a rocket blow up. There was like
Oh,
that's how they came to on stage. They had they delivered by rocket blast off.
It was awesome.
And then
Yeah, that was a fun show.
that was an adventure.
I think fans still consider the Blue album to be maybe their best work. It's also their debut, but I think the consensus is probably it's their finest hour.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it definitely is up there if it's
And-
not the top.
Yeah, it has my favorite single from them called "Say It Ain't So."
That was a great show of Dinosaur Jr. opening up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty outstanding.
Also, the Flaming Lips opened
The
up.
Flaming Lips as well. Yep, and they did their Pink Robot little section. of
They
the
had
show.
quite the theatrics on there.
Yeah, they had some good inflatables. Yeah, that was fun. The Pink Robots, they had the big rainbow. Yeah, no, that was a fun show.
Definitely.
The rocket, like you were talking about, that delivered him and took him off at the end was great. With Weezer.
Yeah, that was an adventure.
Yeah.
Very cool. You mentioned Van Morrison's Blue Money, so here's a little bit of that.
Yeah, we just saw your buddy do this song.
And he's playing again too.
Cool.
Kind of reminds me of the Sesame Street theme there. Never heard this before. Interesting too.
Yeah, and
Reminds me a little. It's got a little Bob Dylan flair to it, sort
It
of.
absolutely does. And he also did a cover of It's All Over Now, Baby Blue.
Yeah.
So
we'll find some of that.
let's hear a little bit of the Dylan version.
Yeah, and as I had told you guys before we came on air, at my very first Grateful Dead concert, which was the second concert I ever saw in my life, they encored with It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. Grateful Dead loved to do Bob Dylan tunes because he was very influential to a lot of artists.
And you're a big Grateful Dead
And I'm
fan
a
with your
huge-
Grateful Dead shirt we're wearing right now.
That's right, my blue Grateful Dead shirt. And also, of course, a quick note, wanted to say that, sad news on the 25th about the passing of Phil Lesh, bass player for the Grateful Dead. So I just want to say a little quick RIP to Phil. I was a veteran of the Phil Zone and experienced many Phil bombs. So, our rest in peace, Phil.
But you got the tattoo. He lives on. You got the tattoo on of Grateful Dead on
That's
you.
right.
So you'll forever be fans. So we'll do a Grateful Dead show specifically sometime. So we'll have to pick up so many things. So.
Classic.
Yeah, love that.
You guys have a favorite song with blue in the title?
Yeah, but before that, I just wanted to mention the Moondance Van Morrison tribute that's coming up at the Tim Noah Thumbnail Theater November 10th. So from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I'll be there.
Yeah, they do a very good Van Morrison tribute. Very good.
And but a favorite blues song, I mean, maybe Baby Blue, Badfinger. We saw Badfinger the fair this summer.
Yeah, and they did play that song. That's got to be up there near the top. That's for sure.
That was one of the highlights of the concert. I mean, there was 24 of some of the most amazing songs ever from the '60s. We saw it on that.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
I'm
That
going to
really was.
agree that Baby Blue is a great song, Badfinger.
Oh, it's so good.
And this was the closing song of Breaking Bad.
Oh, was it?
That's how the whole series ended. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
I guess the question is the baby blue that Badfinger is singing about the same baby blue that Bob Dylan and Van Morrison are singing about?
No, I don't think so. but-
Probably not, but could be.
Well, a lot of blue. So throw the question back to you. What is your favorite blue song?
Yeah.
That is a good question because I have a few, and trying to decide between New Order's Blue Monday, which I think one of the all-time great songs and one of the best-selling 12-inch singles of all time, and just a straight-up classic. And despite the name, is not a cover of the Fats Domino song Blue Monday, but just a straight-up new wave dance classic from the 80s. It was a hit twice, once when it was released in '84, I think it was, and then was remade. They re-released it in '88, I believe, and then Orgy covered it and made it a hit again in the '90s.
And you got to see New Order and Pet Shop Boys.
I did, and of course they did Blue Monday.
Yeah.
This is one of their biggest hits.
Very cool.
And their bass player tours separately as Peter Hook and the Light, and of course he does this too.
Right, right.
It's catchy. Yeah, it's kind of a bouncy.
Oh, I love it.
Now,
Yeah.
get up and dance.
And as much as I love that, boy, it is a tough call because I also am a big fan of the Glasgow, Scotland group Orange Juice that featured Edwin Collins, and they had a great single called Blue Boy.
Okay. Is Scotland a blue place? I mean, I guess all the blue skies.
It is a beautiful place, but maybe more of a gray skies than blue skies there. But it is definitely a fun place to visit. But gosh, yeah, Glasgow has churned out so many amazing groups over the years that it's just one of those places like Liverpool or Manchester or Seattle that just it keeps on giving fantastic music to the world.
Have you ever been over there? Or?
I have, yeah. Had a great time visiting Glasgow.
Oh, wow. Not just Scotland, but Glasgow specifically. So.
Yeah, and Edinburgh as well. I've been to both of the biggest cities in Scotland, and both are very different, but both are very cool.
Did you see any shows there, or was it?
I did. In fact, I saw Edwin Collins, who is the singer and songwriter for Orange Juice, do a solo show in Glasgow. Cool. So it was pretty cool.
That's
it was in the basement of a church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible.
It was
That's
incredible,
cool.
yeah.
Well, seeing Duff McKagan coming up at Showbox, so he's kind of from Guns N' Roses. So,
Right, right.
And he's local
yeah.
to
So
Seattle.
that's going to be fun.
Very cool.
So back to the blues. I mean, there's Blue Bayou, Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, Blue Bayou.
Bayou.
That is a classic, yeah.
And of course, that was a cover
Yes, yeah.
because Roy Orbison did that one originally.
Oh, well,
Right.
that's right. We got to.
Well, you mentioned the Blue Skies of Scotland, and I think one of the great, all-time great blues songs that we haven't mentioned yet is ELO, Electric Light Orchestra's Mr. Blue Sky. So
Yeah,
And we were at that show. That was.
that's what they closed the show with. That was the
Yep.
encore.
one of their biggest hits.
Yeah, that was the encore.
That was a really good show. And then here we go.
A little bit of Blue Bayou.
Bayou.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we did a show on Linda Ronstadt not that long ago, and I think the big takeaway from that was just what a great interpreter of classic songs that she is. She didn't really do too many songs that were original to her.
Right.
Most of them were her interpretations, but she's a great song interpreter.
Definitely, yeah. She's a.
And as you mentioned, this was Roy Orbison originally.
Yeah, yeah,
But the arrangement is very different, and the feel is very different.
yeah.
And on that Linda Ronstadt show, I told the story of I used to work at a radio station in Olympia called KGY, and I did the overnights, and I would get like a call like every time I worked, which was kind of a random schedule. It was always the same old lady. I assume it was an old lady, but she would say, "Please play Linda Ronstadt, Blue Bayou," and so I would try and slip this one in for her. But it was always the same
Awesome.
request.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Her favorite song of all time. Yeah.
It must have been.
That's great.
It's pretty dreamy.
Oh, it's a
Blue Dreams.
Great song.
Well, what's your favorite? It's your turn now. What are you?
Yeah, I was gonna throw out maybe go through a couple. I definitely wanted to hit the double blue, which is "Summertime Blues" by Blue Cheer, which of course also was covered famously by the Who.
Right. It was originally Eddie Cochran.
I'm sorry, you're right. That's true. Yes.
How many double blue songs are on the list?
I was gonna say that might be one of the only ones.
There's a couple I thought. I was like, what?
I mean, there's probably a million songs if you include blues, because that was a common thing with blues songs.
Sure.
Was to include that it was blues, which was kind of like, if it was a waltz, sometimes they would include waltz in
Right.
the title.
Sure.
Well, the same thing with the blues. But I didn't know that Blue Cheer actually covered Summertime Blues, so let's hear a little bit of it.
Yeah.
classic.
Yes, yes, yes.
And just for fun, here's a little bit of the original from Eddie Cochran.
Right.
Absolute rock and roll classic.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great one.
Well, I don't have the summertime blues anymore because it's fall and
Right.
the seasons are
Now we got the
changing.
autumn blues.
But one of the all-time best ever, if we're really talking best ever blues songs, is Behind Blue Eyes by The Who.
Oh, yeah, and you're wearing
Speaking of The Who, and I am wearing my Who hat,
the
of
Who hat,
course.
yeah.
But yeah, that one is one of the absolute all-timers.
And then Sheryl Crow covers it as well.
Yeah, yeah. She does a great cover of it too. But if I was going to really maybe go for a top song on a blues song, that might be the one I would pick.
That is up there for me. Yeah, that is top 5 for sure. And when you're happy, you enjoy the music, but when you're feeling blue, you really dive into the meaning of the lyrics
Right.
in songs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's what the blues was all about. You know, exploring the sadder side of life, the darker side of life. Sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's very universal.
Yep.
Mhm.
We've seen Buddy Guy. That was some deep blues. So.
Yeah, that was some real heavy blues.
Well, if we got
Old
to
school blues.
go deep into the real blue, I think the first blue song I ever heard that I really liked and is a certified classic is Blue Danube.
Blue Danube. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
As an old classic, the
Well-
Blue Danube.
watching these cartoons of like Bugs Bunny and that, but
Mhm.
back in the day, yeah, they used that was oftentimes a
A background. Yep.
classical song.
Palette for it.
Johann Strauss.
Yeah, by Strauss.
And,
Yeah, I can see Bugs Bunny tiptoeing around to this in my mind as I hear it, you know.
That's a really particularly slow version of Blue Danube, though. There's when they put
There's
them in
different
the
sections of the song.
Yeah, when they put it in the cartoons and stuff, it's definitely a little pacier.
It's that same refrain.
That's pretty mellow.
But kind of a despite being more of an adagio arrangement there, the joyfulness comes through in that melody. Kind
Sure.
of like how Blue Hawaii's melody has a very joyful kind of feel to it. A little bit of Elvis Presley's version of Blue Hawaii now.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
That's and from that movie, Blue Hawaii.
That's right.
Appropriately named.
Yeah. Well, we talked about some blue bands before, like the Blues Brothers on the previous show, and
For sure.
that movie of the same name.
Another good one that I had thrown out to you last night, Devin, was Blue Swede with the
yes.
song Hooked on a Feeling.
Right.
Oh,
Now, there's
yeah.
a good one to maybe throw up.
Yeah, their
Or
version
throw out.
of that song.
And Family Guy has that
Yeah.
one moment. They make fun of the song.
Peter
Yeah,
and
they
Lois.
added that ooga shaka, ooga
Yeah,
shaka
yeah.
to it. Yeah, smash hit for Blue Swede in 1973. And, of course, originally done by B.J. Thomas, whose arrangement was a little bit different. Definitely didn't feature that ooga shaka
Right.
thing.
And of course, you know what song he was pretty much most famous for, right?
Everybody's talking.
Well, that too, but the raindrops keep falling on my head.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
he's a good songwriter.
kind of reminds me of Oingo Boingo of because Tim Burton's coming out with another animated movie next year, Dead Man's Party.
Oh,
And it's
and of course, Oingo Boingo has an album called Dead Man's Party.
so,
Yeah, which is a great song and always fun to throw in for Halloween.
Yes.
yeah, because it's Halloween. It's very spooky. So lots of spiders around. But I let spiders be. I was like,
You don't like spiders and snakes.
Yeah, and that ain't what it takes to love me.
You got the reference. Jim
Yeah,
Stafford.
Jim Stafford.
know why Indiana Jones doesn't like working audio-visual gigs. Too many audio snakes.
Well, I do want to say
Nice.
definitely before we end up wrapping up today, I want to mention one thing, and because we also have some blue albums, and we sort of discussed a couple blue albums earlier, but the Beatles, of course, has very famous album, the Blue Album. They had the Blue and the Red album. That were the red was the 62 to 66.
Yeah, these
and
were
compilation albums that
yeah.
were greatest hits albums that were released in 1973.
And printed on blue vinyl.
Yeah, well,
color vinyl.
I had Yeah, they did have versions on colored vinyl. I actually had the 2 red albums and one of the 2 blue albums. The 4th one was missing, but I was gifted those when I was younger. But when I was really, really young, I mean, I knew about the Beatles already, but my aunt and uncle, Marcy and John Edwards, loved them great. My parents used to drop me and my sister off with them when they would go out on vacations. And they had this great van that we would all roll around and do stuff in. And they would always put in that red album and that blue album by the Beatles. And I tell you, we would do Beatles sing-alongs to that blue album.
And did you sing Blue Jay Wade?
I might have.
You met him up on Blue Jay Way. That's
Exactly.
You know that song, right? The Beatles, right?
For sure.
Yeah, that's a certified. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to shout out them for really getting me hooked on the Beatles.
Well, good on you, because everyone should listen to the Beatles.
Yeah.
Well, we already played a Bobby Vinton song because Blue Velvet, a very famous tune, but he also had another smash hit called Blue on Blue.
Uh-oh.
Which,
Oh, Double Blue.
yeah.
Double Blue
Another
song.
double blue. Oh yeah, I know this one.
A while back, the techno group Roixop reinterpreted this song and did a really interesting version of it. And they retitled it So Easy.
They interpolated it.
That's right.
It's a new word that I learned recently.
The blue vibes are just ebbing from that one. That was-
Absolutely.
It's funny, I just remembered something that I should have realized earlier. The Grateful Dead actually has an album called Blues for Allah.
Okay.
There's their contribution.
Well, there's Blue on Black, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. You saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd recently because he was in that Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Kenny Wade Shepherd was at the Experience Hendrix salute at the Paramount recently. Very good show.
And are you
Where I
familiar with this
actually-
one, Blue on Black?
I am not.
Oh, well then, I think you're in for a little treat. I like this song.
Oh yeah,
You know this one?
I am familiar with this one. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Kenny Wayne, he is really good.
and
Mm-mm.
yeah, you just saw Psychedelic Furs too this week. That was cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Same place you saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Yeah, I love that place. We also, Marianne and I just saw Penn and Teller there.
Here is a little bit of Blue on Black from Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a great song.
And guys, we've only got a few minutes left here, so anything you want to talk about? I mean, aside from saying happy Halloween to everybody out there, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, everybody be safe out there trick-or-treating tonight and at all the Halloween parties and stuff that you're going to.
Yeah, and I hope everyone had a great Rocktober. I certainly did. I saw Guar, and my YouTube channel is just sustaining lots of views lately. So for all the great concerts we got captured this year, and so is yours. Your YouTube.
Yeah, I just went over 12,000 subscribers and 6,000 videos recently, and over 1 million views not too long ago. So.
And that's at Do Train on YouTube.
At Do Train, yeah.
And Devin Creisler Studios on YouTube, 5 million views now.
Sweet.
35,000 subscribers. So
yeah, that's great. Of course, want to invite everybody to come to the Facebook page and interact. Viva ENT, Rock, Pop, and Soul.
That's where you can chime in and connect with us.
Do all these fun things like we've been doing with the Blue songs and Blue albums and stuff.
Brainstorm songs.
With all kinds of other subject and words that we use in those games. That's always fun.
So,
and this show airs again on Tuesday, which is election day. So a quick reminder to everybody to please vote if you haven't already.
That's right.
Definitely.
Get registered if you're not registered, and get out there and vote.
And you just said
it's important.
You got to do it like at the stadiums. You got to do the wave, do the blue wave here. So hope for the best, and
maybe we can persuade them with a little bit of crystal blue persuasion.
There you go.
Oh,
the show.
That's a perfect show closer. Perfect.
Tommy James and the Shondells' smash hit went to number 2 back in 1969. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Hope you have a nice, bright blue day today and
have
tomorrow.
Have a great Halloween, everyone.
What do you see? The sun is rising. Most definitely.
Well, I was skeptical.
Wow. Well, thank you. I'm
we could
demanding.
do an engaging show on just blue, but
I thought that sounded good.
Yeah. Alternative talk. You won't hear anything else.
That's right.
Crystal clear blue state. Oh my! Why did I not have that one on my list?
Because it's hard to find them all.
But yeah, that is definitely one of the best.
It's like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Oh, I gotta catch all these concerts. Well, I'm just like walk out and then walk back in, and then we're gonna do show 2, a fresh